joining us today. I am delighted to welcome you all in our 100 Days Shrimp Training Program, organized by Twakkal Farms and Fish Hatcheries. Let us start with the name of Allah. I would like to invite Mr. Umar to recite the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah. This session is part of our ongoing efforts to build knowledge and practical skills in aquaculture, specifically in shrimp farming. Let us recap our previous session. In our previous session, we explored the topic of adapting to climate change in saline water areas for shrimp farming. It was an insightful discussion on how changing environmental conditions can impact the shrimp culture and the strategies we can use to stay resilient. Today's topic for training is water and pond preparation for shrimp. As all of you know, proper pond and water management is the foundation of successful shrimp farming. Without the right condition in the start, even stocked PL and feed can't be effective. So whether you are a beginner or looking to refine the current practices, this session is going to provide a valuable insight. We are honored to have Mr. Aipang Hariparvanto, an highly experienced shrimp farming expert with more than 30 years of hands-on experience. He has worked extensively across different farming systems, from hatchery to grow-out operations, with strong expertise in feed optimization, biosecurity, sustainable practices, and farm management. Over the years, he has guided many successful shrimp projects and is widely respected as a consultant and mentor for shrimp farmers. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for joining us today, sir. Over to you, sir.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir.
Okay, we can start.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I am very happy today. We'll discuss about the pond and water preparations in shrimp farming on the 100 days training on the shrimp farming. Okay, our topic is pond and water preparation in shrimp farming. Next. Pond preparations and water culture for shrimp farming. The topic we are discussing now is to ensuring optimal conditions for the post-larvae stocking, importance of proper ponds and water preparations, impact on shrimp health and yield, overview of the process. Okay, next. why we do this properly? The key point there is the foundation for success. 70% of shrimp farming hinge on the pre-stocking preparations. Our goal here is to eliminate pathogens, competitors, and toxins. Establish a stable, nutrient-rich environment, enrich natural food for shrimp, boost PL survival rate. Our target is more than 80%. Okay, next. This is the pond preparation workflow. You know, after harvesting, after cycles, there is a pond condition commonly like this. This is dirty in the pond bottom. There is maybe some barnacles there which need should be cleaned. Uh, Pond cleaning is done to make sure that all of the unwanted materials is removed. After we are cleaning complete, this is important. The QA, Quality Assurance Department, will be inspections. This is for the pond cleaning. It is pass or fail. If it's fail, it should be re-cleaning again until it pass. After pass, then we do a repair lining. Repair lining because some lining will be there is broken, need to be repaired after cycles. So it is to make sure that it is repairing properly. Then after that, we are disinfect with the chlorine, HCl, liming, calcium oxide. And then after it is done, again, quality assurance, QA should be inspected. It is done properly. This is pass or fail. If pass, then we do the water filling. Yeah, this is some Indonesians legit. It is two screens. Two screens should be there in the inside. It is the blue one. The blue one. It is 1,000 microns inside. It is screen, and the outside, the white one, it is 250 microns of screen. And again, QA inspects to make sure that it is installed properly. It is require for the water source which came from the coastal area. If from the border groundwater, I think it is not necessary. Okay, next. Okay, I will to emphasize for the cleaning process because it is very important to remove maybe some shrimp there or other organisms that might introduce disease. It should be all is removed. Cleaning the pond and equipment in the pond with properly brooms or jet pump water to remove the sludge, biofilms, and animals, etc. Remove all water that may be ponding there. Let it sun dry in pond bottom for 2 or 7 days. The purpose is to eradicate pest, pathogen, or organic waste. We divided the earthen pond and SDP lining. For the earthen pond, the pond should be complete drained until soil crack. it it easily, this is the drain is will be complete if the soil is cracked. Remove the organic matters like sludge and for the previous sludge and uneaten feed from the previous cycles. It is to be removed. Then tiling. Tiling is to improve aerations and expose soil to the sunlight, drying and decomposition. Then liming, just the soil pH. It will be explained later. For detail, how is the dosage of the liming according to the soil pH. For the XTPE lining ponds, cleaning is by broom. Remove all the remaining animals. Clean the all equipment such as PWA, paddle wheels, aerators, auto feeders, etc. Okay, next. Okay, I will emphasizing for the hello. Okay, repairing. Repairing dikes to ensure the pond structural integrity by repairing any damaged dike. Level the bottom to facilitate drainage and reduce stagnant waters or ponding. Lining the small hole that possibly water under lining will insert to the pond. Leakage of the pond can be factor for disease or contamination. Okay, next. Disinfections. The primary purpose of disinfection after cleaning of shrimp pond is to eradicate the pathogens like the bacteria, viruses, and parasites that cause disease. Ensuring a disease-free environment for shrimp and preventing outbreaks and productivity loss. Disinfection is part of the broader biosecurity strategy that involves meticulous cleaning of the ponds, equipment, and water to maintain a disease-free. To maintain the disease-free environment throughout the entire cultivation cycles. Various disinfection such as chlorine to kill all organisms there, lime, calcium oxide to make a pH more than 12 for kill spore of the EXP, HCLs to make pH below 4 for EXP also. Then sun drying to until 7 days. Drying kills pathogen, parasite, and pests by exposing them to the air and sunlight. Next. Water filling and disinfections. Water filling the ponds, the water level water filling about 100 to 120 cm. Use filters 300 and 1000 micron net to remove debris and prevent carrier animals to the ponds. Disinfect water in the treatment pond and direct in the pond culture. Water disinfections. Disinfect the water using appropriate method to eliminate the pathogens. Okay, next. Sun drying for earthen ponds. Drying a pond before filling is help sanitize the ponds, remove organic debris, oxidize the soils, and neutralize soil acidity, which improve water quality and disease prevention for future stocking. Proper drying usually involves removing all waters and allowing the soil to dry until it cracks and dark color soil is not longer visible. After drying, the pond bottom can be tiled, limed, and then fertilized before being refilled. Sanitations and disease controls. Drying kills pathogens, parasites, and pests by exposing them to air and sunlight. Okay, next. Next, yes. Water culture before stocking. Water cultures for 10 to 15 days before stocking to get appropriate transparency and phytoplankton in ponds. Apply fertilizer to grow natural food with fermentation, rice bran, probiotic. Check water quality parameter before stocking. The parameter pH, the optimal ring is there, 7.9 to 8.1. What is the impact? If pH not suitable, will be affect nutrient availability and shrimp health. Salinity, optimal ring in that value 10 to 25. For Paname, the optimum salinity will be 15 to 25 ppt. Dissolved oxygens more than 5 ppm. Critical for the effect. If not suitable for DO, it will be critical for respirations and hypoxia. Ammonia, this will be less than 0.1 ppm. This is a toxic cases. Will be reduced growth and immunity. Even we can mortality can be a mortality to the stream. Alkalinity, it should be 120 to 200 ppm. This is alkalinity as a buffer to stabilize pH and support for the nitrification. Water colors, this is greenish bone or brownish skin. That is meaning that that is not a single dominant in the phytoplankton in the pond. It's a good phytoplankton index diversity. We are prefer the water colors greenish brown or brownish green. Okay, next. Pond preparation before filling in case of the extensive cultures. I think this is a lot now. Extensive cultures is doing in Pakistan. The first is drying in tilling soil to dry organic matter, mineralize and nutrient. This is will be improved for the fertility, soil fertility. For liming, apply calcium carbonate or dolomite at 500 to 1,500 kg per hectare, depending on the soil pH. It will be explained later. This dosage. This is will be neutralized for the acidity and improve the nutrient availability. Fertilizations, this is depend on application. We can use organic fertilizers like kodang, chicken manure, composted plant matters 200 to 500 kg per hectare. Spread it and distribute evenly to the pond. Inorganic fertilizer to kickstart algae bloom, inorganic will be ready to use for the phytoplankton to bloom. We can use urea 5 to 10 kg to per hectare. Triple super phosphate TSP 48%. It applied 2 to 5 kg per hectare. Apply after filling pond 30 to 40 cm water depth. Okay, next. Water management after filling. Fill it gradually, 30 to 50 cm first. then fertilize, wait until water turn light green or light brown. Sorry, this is it should be light brown. It indication light green or light brown is indication a good phytoplankton bloom. Adjust pH in this level 7.9 to 8.1 and alkalinity more than 100 ppm for water stability, especially for the prevent for the pH fluctuation of the pH EM. Then maintain transparency at 60 to 100 cm in Sechi depth. I think everybody here know what is the Sechi depth. We are measure using a Sechi dish. I think it is already common in our farm, Sechi dish. I think all of you can exactly measure Sechi dish and exactly value because it is important. The correct Sagittarius measurement is very important to clear indicate that is not enough for natural food and too dark it will risk to crash. Okay, next. Fertilizations during cultures. Regular top up fertilizer urea 2.5 kg every 1 or 2 weeks, depend on the dynamic in the work farm. TSP 1 or 2 kg per hectare every 1 or 2 weeks. Then organic supplementation, apply fermented rice bran, molasses or compost plant as slow release nutrient. Always monitor water transparency before fertilizing to maintain this 60 to 100 cm. This is important in this range to prevent too dark or too low transparency is important to prevent this plankton blue is collapse or crash. Stop fertilization with transparency below 50 cm. Do not allow. It is do not allow transparency below 30 cm. It is to crash. Okay, next. Okay, next. Next, please. Okay. Enhance zooplankton as a natural food. Probiotic and enzyme. Probiotics such as Bacillus sp can help decompose organics. It will be release nutrient to stimulate plankton. Rest bran or wet brains 10 or 2 kilograms per hectare weekly to promote benthic diatoms and detritus. Organic fertilizers, kodang, chicken manure, compost plant at 200 to 500 kilogram per hectare, apply and evenly. Green manure like Azula microphylla can be incorporated in the pre-stocking to enrich on mud and release nutrient slowly. Okay, next. Nah, this is a very simple visually to measure our treatment is on the right track or not. Just to keep this transparency 80 to 100 cm, do not too low. Plankton chat green water is good, green water, but not pure greens. Brownish is excellent. There is a diatoms and indicate the brownish watercolors indicate that there is a balancing during between phytoplankton and bacteria. It is very important, the balancing. It is can be visually we can look at this watercolor. We are prefer in this brownish or light brown. Uh, in other hand, a blue green is very dangerous. It cyanobacteria. Okay. Then I want to highlight here. Please take a note that do not allow phytoplankton collapse. This is the key here. Do not allow phytoplankton collapse. So why in the water culture we keep transparency just in this 80 to 100 cm. If any case bloom collapse, yeah, we start again to do a partial water exchange. It will be up to 50% to be exchanged, then refertilize. It will be timely. So do not allow phytoplankton to collapse. Okay, next. Now this is what I am the liming dosage for earthen prawn. It is according to the it's the pH soil pH. In the prawn preparation, if the boil pH below 4.5, it is very acidic. We are using 2,000 to 4,000 kg per quick lime, yeah, calcium oxide or hydrated lime. For 4.5 to 5.5, it 1,500 to 2,500 kg per hectares of agricultural lime or calcium carbonates or dolomite. If soil pH is 5.5 to 8.5, it's about 1,000 to 1,500 of calcium carbonate or dolomite. If this is optimal soil, it 6.5 or until 7.5, it's just enough 200 to 500 kg per hectare of to maintain. Apply this evenly across dry pond bottom after cleaning and drying. Okay, next. Water conditioning techniques. It is for the when the water source is from the coastal area, from the sea, we use a filtration 250 to 500 mesh screen to exclude the predators or competitors there. Probiotics and enzyme, Bacillus subtilis to break down waste and suppress of Vibrio. You know, Vibrio is the causes of the EMS, Vibrio parahemolyticus. Then aeration. Install pedal wheels for pre-tosking to make it distribute evenly all of the materials we are treat in the pond. Okay, next. This is plankton bloom developments. Cultivating of natural food chain, it is very important. We are to make a food chain there, make the dynamic food chain there. This is 5 to 7 days after fertilization. Target bloom is greenish from water, diatoms is dominant. It is a brownish. Diatom indicate that it is brownish. Sagittis in this 60 to 100 cm. Microscopy checks diatom avoid cyanobacteria. It is a blue-green algae. This is plankton or we are required is very important for the natural food source for PLs. The phytoplankton, good phytoplankton will, it is in the food chains. Phytoplankton will be as a source of the zooplankton, and zooplankton it be a good natural food for the PL. PL should be the top consumer in the natural food chains in our farm. Okay, this phytoplankton will be good for our oxygen production and ammonia assimilation. Okay, next. Okay, this is also very important by UAC. It is nice to be done by UAC before stocking. What is BioAssay? BioAssay is to check our toxicity in the stream water and the pond water before we are stocking. To check to ensure that the pond water is ready for PL stocking. A test using test organism to determine if the water in pond or tank is stable and safe for them to live in assessing its toxicity or nutrient levels. To perform one, some of the samples from the pond are exposed to the representative organisms. The head and supervisor monitor to see if water composition is optimal or detrimental of to the population that will be stocked there. Asia will do 4 to 5 days before stocking. The survival rate in the PLAC should be 100%, meaning that our water farm is ready to stock. Should be 100%. Retest the samples if the survival rate below 100 should be retest. The method obviously very simple. Just 1 liter of pond water. Pond water which will be stocked, we put there in the 1 liter containers. Then put the 10 pieces of the post larvae every container. Check DO, salinity, and pH. Record if animal mortality occurs. Count the survival rate in 24 hours. And then use the water from the hatchery for a control. So we have comparisons between the water for the farm from the farm and the from water from the hatchery as controls. Okay, next. Okay, for pre-stocking, it's to make sure post larva past QC analysis. Now, until later, this will be explained deeper by my colleagues, Mrs. Tony, for QC analysis of quality of PL. Will be next week, inshallah. We will take about this how the post larva will be passed for QC analysis. Because this is very important, because this will be impact the survival and growth in the ponds. Yeah, this is will be explained later for the length, and coefficient of variance, mud to gut ratio, parasites, retest, etc. Non-rumination, no disease. It will be explained further for the next week regarding the pre-stocking. Okay, next. Okay. The summary I would like to mention here is the pond preparation. It will be disease prevention during the drying, lining, and sanitation. It is not negotiable. It is very, very important to start our cycles. Water culture productivity, meaning that keep the balance of phytoplankton in high diversity index, meaning that is not a single dominance. Enhance the zooplankton rotifers as a natural food. Will be high PL survivals. Diversity index is very important. It can be visually in the watercolor. We can see if there is a pure green, meaning that it is a dominance, maybe not much species of phytoplankton dominance. It is the pure green, meaning that diversity index will be low. We are requiring the high diversity index, a lot of the phytoplankton there. So visually, it is easy. By visual, the watercolor will be light browns, greenish brown, or brownish green. This is a very easy by visually actually to uh, uh, our phytoplankton there is good or not. Okay. Then keep the water monitoring. It is a DO, pH, AM, PM. It will be in daily basis. DO, especially before sunrise. This is the criticals DO there. So it will be measured at the time before sunrise. And then pH, as per our mention, pH will be 7.9 to 8.1 on daily basis, because the fluctuations of pH can be impact, will be stressful to our PLs. Then alkalinity, toxic such as ammonia, X2S, nitrite on weekly basis. This is the minimum for the water monitoring to make sure that our pond is in the good conditions. Yeah, the finals I will to say that a well-prepared pond is the best insurance for the profitability harvest. Okay, thank you, everybody. Then before I send the video, please can be show to the audience. This very simple, very easy to see the zooplankton bloom by glasses. Please let the audience. Yes, yes. You see there for the zooplankton in the glass, it's very easy. You just take the water with these glasses, then you can see if there is a lot of zooplankton. You see the zooplankton there. You see, it is very easy, very easy to see if zooplankton is there. So this is important to enhance the zooplankton before do PL stocking. Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable, detailed, and practical presentation. Your guidance on pond and water preparation will be very useful for our participants in ensuring better survival and growth of shrimp. We now open the
Okay.
floor for the questions. If kindly raise your hand if you have any kind of questions.
Any questions?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mohammed Hamad Noor, you can ask now.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It's a very wonderful
Yes.
and meaningful. Sir, I have a
Thank you.
question. Some kind selection of site, but face a big problem. Uh, uh, after filling the water in a pond, algae bloom glow suddenly in the water. So,
Yeah,
what is the
glowing,
precaution?
glowing. Yeah.
Yeah, algae grows suddenly the water. Some reason, high temperature, harsh weather, and other thing. What is the precaution measurement to overcome the algae? Yeah, to control the algae. Please tell us.
Okay, thank you. It's this nice
Thank
questions. We have to make sure what is the make the water glow. It is some reasons can be there. First is in the water a lot of the phosphor floor. It is also glowing. The second is to make sure what is the compositions of the phytoplankton there. It is a lot of the Dinopita. It is also glowing. It is dangerous. It is so the important things to prevent this is to use probiotics for the beginning. Yeah, that is what we are mentioned previously. Use fermented rice bran, yeah, with the yeast or with the bacillus to make it to compress, yeah, to make the bacteria is grow there also as a balancing of phytoplankton blooming. So in the ponds water it should be balancing between the phytoplankton and bacteria. So the critical is the phytoplankton will be dominance because no competition from the bacteria. So for the beginning, we are requiring to blow the bacteria, the good bacteria in the beginning. Let it compete with the phytoplankton to prevent the others phytoplanktons dominance in our ponds. So in the beginning, we are because it is to grow the bacteria, it should be start in the beginning to uh, bloom this bacteria by using a probiotic. Uh, uh, I think this is what we can do to prevent. Yeah, in the shrimp farming, actually, uh, all of things we need to do a preventing rather than for curative. Yeah, we can Dinoflagellata. Sorry, the if in the pond there is a lot of the Dinoflagellata, meaning there is a lot of the organic matter there. Dinoflagellata is like it is heterotroph, like a heterotroph. If there is organic load there in the pond is high, it is easy to bloom this Dinoflagellata. It is harmful. It can we unwanted this phytoplankton bloom or dominant in our farm. The characteristic of this dino is the dark. The water become dark, brown, dark brown, and then goes to the reddish. This is a dinoflagellata. We need to check first what is the glow there. Then to and the after we know what is the causes, so we can do accordingly. Maybe it is can answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next is Miss Hira.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir, my
yes.
question is like as a farmer, after complete pond preparation, after following all the steps and after harvesting one crop, can I use this pond water
Yes.
for next crop, or we have to prepare the pond then again?
Uh, Please repeat.
Sir,
You are
can
fish pond.
farmer use pond water for next crop, or we
Oh,
can? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We call it inoculations.
Yes.
Inoculations. We call it, this is inoculation techniques. We use the water from the big DOC ponds, and then use this water from the for the our preparations. It is good, but not all, not 100. Maximum 50%. We can use maybe just 20% only, because we are to maximize as beneficially is in the big DOC with the good growth of shrimp. It is the indicators that the water there is good. This is logic is like this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we
Right.
just use this good water, just maybe 20%, 25% is enough to, this is as a seeding. We
Okay.
call it inoculation. Yeah, for the next cycles. Yes,
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
welcome, welcome.
Thank you, sir. And we have some questions in our chat box as well. Let me start with the first question.
Yes.
Is how many pieces per square meter can we normally stock, in which the cost mean the minimum?
Yeah, in the extensive or what?
In the
Stocking
normal,
density in the
in the normal density.
normal normal density. Yeah, we I will be explain later for this stocking density, because it will be depending according to what is the facility you have. For examples, in the extensive pond, when there are no any paddle wheels, there, the maximum it should be 5 pieces per square. 5 pieces per square in intensive. If you have some paddle wheels, it will be increased to 10. Then the facility, I will be calculate letters in my topics on the PL stocking. I will explain later what is the uh, uh, stocking density according to the how is the facility we have. It will be we will be as a carrying capacity, for the for the for the uh, one SP. It will be about 5 kilograms of shrimp. Just common one XP is will be on in 500 kg will be there. It is an answer or the question.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more question. How much lime should be used in ponds and how much HCl should be used for pond preparation?
Oh yes, yes. Uh, for the liming, it using calcium oxide. It is because of the maybe for the previous cycle there is EXP. It need ESP. It is conclude that can be treated by liming CaO, calcium oxide, until the pH 12. Until the pH 12, then That's it. So just in the ponding water, or in the equipment like paddle wheel, just in this area only. If there is already sun drying, it is not not required. Yeah. HCl is a strong acid. It can be used in we are using HCl is about the 100 ppm. It is enough to kill all the uh, uh, bacteria pathogen. We are using this HCls. But commonly we are using a chlorine in dosage about 20 to 30 ppm of waters. Okay, hopefully it is answer the question.
Yes, sir, it's clear. Thank you so much. Sir, now I would like to request Dr. R.S. Jinjwa to come forward and ask you something.
Okay. Okay, please, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Thank you very much for this very informative and practical approach presentation, and we got a lot of
Okay.
learning from your presentation. I have a stupid question.
Thank you.
I have a stupid question that should we use these chemicals in presence of shrimp stock in the pond or before stocking the shrimps?
Yeah, we are using chemicals in case in pond preparation and water culture before stocking, just to make sure there is no any pathogen there. But if we are already stocking, it is not recommended using chemicals.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you repeat the stocking density concept for in a simplified way with the examples 1, 2, 3, 4? Like you said, 5 pieces per square meter, and then 10, 15. So
Yeah.
give some examples to make it understand
Yeah.
easy.
Yes. Okay, noted. For stocking density, for extensive, maximum, if we have not any paddle wheel equipment, it is maximum 5 pieces per square. If you have some aerators, you can increase 10. And the semi-intensive, it can be until 50 pieces per square. One SP, it should be enough for 25 piece. It is the common formulation. 1 SP, will be enough for 25 piece of the stocking. Then you can it is will be related with the carrying capacity and the according to the facilities we have. The stocking density will be determined on this. I will be explain further, especially in this matters for the next topic, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking forward
Hopefully
to
this
hear
is
from you the next
this is
topic.
answered. Okay. Noted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. This comes to our end of today's session. A sincere thank you to Sir you for sharing us your
Yes,
expertise and detailed presentation.
Thank you very much. See you.
In conclusion, today's session showed us the proper pond and water preparation is the key for the successful shrimp farming. Cleaning, disinfection, water culture, and maintaining good qualities all ensure better PL survival and high productivity. A well-prepared pond is truly the best protection for the farmers against the disease and the loss. I would like to again thank you to the speaker and all the participants for making this session a very valuable. We hope all
Thank
the
you.
participation has gained useful takeaway so that they can apply in their field. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everyone. We will update you about the next session time and date in our group. Meanwhile, if you have any kind of queries,
Thank you.
email us.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank